بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم.
شروع اللہ کے نام سے جو رحمان و رحیم ہے.
اقرأ بسم ربک الذی خلق.
پڑھو اے نبی اپنے رب کے نام کے ساتھ جس نے پیدا کیا.
خلق الانسان من علق.
جمے ہوئے خون کے ایک لوتھڑے سے انسان کی تخلیق کی.
اقرأ وربک الاکرم.
پڑھو اور تمہارا رب بڑا کریم ہے.
الذی علم بالقلم.
جس نے قلم کے ذریعے سے علم سکھایا.
علم الانسان ما لم يعلم.
انسان کو وہ علم دیا جسے وہ نہ جانتا تھا.
Assalamu alaikum. Today we are commencing with the great name of Allah Almighty, who is the most beneficent and ever merciful. Today we are starting our class, the 7th video session for mathematics of class 8, and I am again your maths teacher, and the topic that we will discuss today is your exercise 11C. Exercise 11C from book page number 377. This one exercise inshallah we will discuss today in this video class. So the exercise that we are having on the board is from your week number 6. But before starting week number 6 or the content for your week number 6, I am damn sure that you have completed your previous work for all of your weeks, especially your week number 5, including all the previous weeks. And now we are starting our week number 6 for exercise 11C. And you must have to complete your work, because as you know that I have told you earlier that your copies will be submitted for the checking purpose to the office reception. So you have to maintain your copies same as it is as you were maintaining your copies in your class routine. So right after that, moving forward to our today's topic, that is exercise 11C. In exercise 11C we are having many of the word problems. Means the questions are given in the wordy form and we have to simply solve them. We have to solve them with the help of the different tests that we have studied in the previous video class, that are your congruence test and your similarity test. So we have discussed in the last class the two different topics, that is congruence and the similarity. So for congruence we have studied the 4 different tests. Number 1 triple S, number 2 AAS, third one is SAS, and the last one is RHS. And for similarity we have discussed number 1 AA, 2 angles are congruent, then SAS, 2 sides and 1 angle is congruent, and third one is AAS, when the 2 angles and 1 side is congruent. So these are your congruence tests and these are your similarity tests that we have discussed respectively for exercise 11A, then for exercise 11B. Now today we are starting the exercise 11C, and this is a combo exercise for both the previous exercises. It means that it is having all the concepts of congruence and similarity collectively at one platform, and we have to identify the question ourselves, and then we will solve this according to the congruence or the similarity, whatever the type of congruence or similarity it is having. So kindly open your book for page number 377 where we are having the exercise 11C, and on the very first page we are having the question number 1 from the basic level, and that is the diagram illustrates how the length AB, which cannot be measured directly, of a pond is measured. Choose a point C and measure the length of AC and the length of side BC. Produce AC to B and BC to A dash and B dash respectively, so that CA dash is equals to AC and CB dash is equals to your side BC. By matching the length of B dash A dash, we will be able to find the length of AB. Why is this so? After having a long statement with different particular terms, we are having a simple statement with the 4 different words. That is our basically main requirement for the question. This is your last 4 words. Why is this so? ऐसा क्यों है? So basically in this particular question we are having a diagram, as you can see in your book page number 377. This first one diagram we are discussing. So this is the pond and we have to measure the length of the pond, and the length of the pond is representing in this particular question as your side AB, that is an corresponding side to A dash and B dash, and some more sides are also given. So I am drawing the diagram on the board with the help of this given statement. Let's see how it looks. So this is your length of pond side AB, that cannot be measured directly of a pond. Is choose a point C and measure the length of AC. This is the point C for example, and this is the measurement of AC, and the length of side BC, and this is the length of side BC. Produce AC and BC to A dash and B dash. Now we have to extend the lines of AC and BC to make the two other points. So I am extending this particular line in this form, and this one is extending in this form. So the line or the point that we have achieved by increasing this particular line, that is your line AC, is the point A dash, and the point that we have got after increasing or extending this particular line, your line BC or your side BC. So this is our point B dash. By A dash, from B dash. Right after that, so that CA dash is equals to AC. Now where is the CA dash? These two sides must be equal. This is CA and this is CA dash. These two sides must be equal. Are they equal? No. For their equality, I must move my point somehow upward. Okay, that's right. So I am removing my previous points. Respectively, and CB dash is equals to BC. Yes, and these two parts are also must be equal. Now, by measuring the length of B dash A dash, whenever we are measuring the length of this particular side, this is B dash and A dash, we will be able to find out the length of the side AB, means the length of the pond. So we have to simply tell them why is this so. So this is because of, yes, congruent triangles. As we can see, as we are given in the book or given in the question, that this particular side is congruent to this particular side, and this side is correspondent or equal to this side. So obviously if the two different corresponding sides are equal, so the last one or the remaining one, third correspondent side, will also be equal. So here in this particular diagram, AB is congruent to A dash and B dash, the corresponding side. So point A is corresponding to A, B is corresponding to B, and C is corresponding to itself. A is corresponding to A dash, B is corresponding to B dash, and C is corresponding to C dash. So first of all, question number 1, mathematical standard solution, then mathematical rule, repeating your question because we are not having any figure question right over here. So we are just directly starting our solution by skipping one line. So here the congruent parts, the correspondent parts, firstly we should mention. So A, B and C are corresponding to A dash, B dash and C respectively. So after that we have to mention, we have to prove the congruence of these two particular triangles with the help of any of the congruence tests. So as we know that there are 4 different congruence tests, so we are going to prove their congruence with the help of any of the one, as the two different sides are given in the book that they are equal, this side AB and the side AC and the side BC. So we are taking the two sides that we are that are given in the book as the common and the congruent sides, and then we will also consider the one angle. So we will prove the congruence of these two particular triangles with the help of SAS congruence test. So first of all, the first one side that was given is your side AC, that is congruent to side A dash C dash. Right after that, the side BC is congruent to side B dash C. Because the correspondent of A is A dash and the correspondent of B is B dash, C is corresponding to itself. Wherever we are having the C is corresponding to itself for this particular question, question number 1 from exercise 11C. And these two are the given sides. Why are they equal? We are not having any particular measurement, but still we are saying that they are equal because this is given in the question. So right after that we are having, according to the diagram, again I have to draw the diagram. So according to this diagram, there is an angle ACB, angle ACB, and this is equals to angle corresponding point A dash for A, C is same, B is B dash. And we are mentioning the particular angle for C, so I have mentioned the sign of cap for mentioning the particularity of this particular angle. So here angle ACB is corresponding to angle, is congruent to angle A dash C B dash. So why is this so? This is because these are the vertical angles. Basically these are the opposite vertical angles. OPP is representing opposite, VER is representing vertical, and this symbol with S representing your angles. So these are vertically opposite angles, and we have discussed in the previous class also. So whenever two different lines intersect each other at one particular point, so the angles they are having, they form the four different angles, and the angle that are opposite to each other vertically or horizontally, they are always equal to each of them. So right over here, this angle is equals to this particular angle. So in this way, the two different sides and one particular angle is equal for these two different triangles. So triangle ACB is congruent. I am mentioning three different lines, and whenever we are having the three lines, they represent our congruence. So these are always equals to triangle A dash CB. So this is the congruence of your triangles, and you will mention the similarity test within the bracket. The congruence test that we have applied over here, this is your SAS similarity or the congruence. And now you have to mention the reason, as I have mentioned in your content solution, because these two triangles are congruent. So therefore side AB is also equal to side A dash B dash. Whenever the two different triangles are congruent, so the six different elements they are having within them, they are also equal to each other. The corresponding sides and the corresponding angles are also equal to each other. So this one particular side, the AB side, is also equal to your side A dash B dash. And in this way, if I have measured the A dash B dash, so this is equals to your AB. So the statement is also written in your content solution. Hence AB is equals to A dash B dash, because both triangles are congruent. So corresponding sides are also congruent. By the congruence of the triangle, the congruence of the sides is also proved over here. So this is your final answer, and this is your question number 1. Now we are starting our next part, that is question number 3. Yes, on the same page we are having the statement. This is an interesting question. The figure shows a tree SR and a pole PQ casting shadows of length 30 meter and 15 meters respectively. If the height of the pole is 4 meter, we have to find out the height of the tree. So there are basically two different triangles. So we are also drawing the diagram in the same form on the board. Yes, this is tree. This is your S point, this is your R point, this is a point that is known as O. S is connected to O, and there is also two different points that are P and Q, and basically they are representing a pole with the measurement 4 meter. This is 4 meter long, and we have to find out the length of the tree, and the base side for OQ is given as 15 meters. And the side that is given for OR is 30 meters, means the double of 15 meter. So these three different measurements are given, and we have to simply find out the measurement of SR. So whenever we focus on this particular diagram, so they are representing the similar triangles. So what are the similar triangles? Similar triangles are those triangles that looks like each other but they are different in size. दिखने में एक जैसे लगते हैं, but उनका size, उनकी measurements for their different corresponding sides is different. However, their corresponding sides are equal by their ratios, means their ratios for the different corresponding two similar triangles are always proportional. So we are working now for the similarities over here. In question number 1, we have completed the congruence, and now we are working for the similarity. So for this particular triangle SOR, first one triangle, and triangle POQ, this is your second triangle. So I am directly mentioning my triangles. For triangle SOR is similar to our triangle POQ. SOR is similar to POQ. The bigger one triangle, the smaller triangle, but they are similar according to the book, and as we can also judge ourselves by their diagrams. So now we are working for this particular side, that is SR side, and for finding out this particular side we have to mention the ratios or the fractions for the corresponding sides. So first side that we are mentioning over here is the unknown side, that we have to find out the length of this particular tree, and this side is corresponding to side PQ, because S is corresponding to P and R is corresponding to Q. So this is the ratio for the two corresponding sides, and this must be equal to whenever we are discussing the similarity. So the ratios are always equal. So for this reason I am mentioning over here an equality mark. And now the second side, that is OR, for the first triangle, that is your SOR, must be congruent or must be divided by the side OQ, because R is corresponding to Q for your second triangle. So this is SR divided by PQ is equals to OR divided by OQ. Now by replacing their values, we have simply SR is same and PQ is replaced by 4, OR is replaced by 30 and OQ is replaced by 15. So 15 ones are 15 and 15 twos are 30. You may also cancel out this fraction over here, or you may also multiply this, and right after that you will cut them out, you will cancel them out. As you know that in mathematics we have different ways of cancellation, of division, or for simplification, but we have to pick up the simplest one and the easiest one. So here the remaining number is 2, and whenever 2 is multiplied by 4, the fractional form with SR, we are working for SR. So SR below the SR as denominator we are having 4. So 4 must be shifted on the right hand side with an opposite operation, that is multiplication, the opposite of the division function. So 4 is getting multiplied. So SR is equals to 2 multiplied by 4, this is 8, and the unit that we are having for the measurements for this particular diagram is meter. So I am also mentioning my 8 meter. Right after that I will mention my statement. So the length of the tree is 8 meters. How is this possible? Whenever we are having the similar triangles and we are working for finding out any particular side, so we must be sure for our answer or for our calculation that we have calculated with the help of different similarity tests. So how I am sure that my answer is 100% correct? For example, we were having these two triangles, P, Q, P, and this is O, and this is Q, and right over here we were having S and R. The two different sides are already given. As this one is 15, and the distance from O to R, its measurement, its length is 30. So how the 15 may become the 30? By multiplying 2. 15 twos are 30. If one side is getting multiplied by 2 for making its corresponding side, so it simply means that all the sides must be multiplied by 2, because we are discussing the similarity, and whenever we are having the similarity, so all the three different sides are also equal. So 15, the double of 15 is 30. We were having 4 meter the length of the pole. So as you can see that after the proper calculations we are also still having the 8 meters as our answer, because the different corresponding sides for the triangle SOR are double to make this particular triangle. So this is a simple logic, and this type of questions are asked in your MCQs questions. So you must understand this similarity and congruence carefully for attempting a good question whenever or wherever you are attempting this type of questions. And we will also see this similarity technique or trick in the next question, the question number 6 from our book. This is also a tricky question. We are having the measurement of one side and we have to find out the measurement of the second other side. But right now we are discussing our question number 4. Again a simple question. And for question number 4, we need some geometrical tools, and there are some geometrical tools, and this is your protector, a wooden protector. With the help of this, the teachers use this particular tool to teach you on the board the geometrical concepts. And this is your ruler, this is your compass you use to draw the circle or to mention the arcs, and this is a right angle triangle shape of this is made of wood. And here we are having the different tables right over here and right over here, and this particular thing is known as, most of the students don't know even its name and its use. This is a right angle triangle shape tool, and this is known as set square. This is known as set square. And today we are using this particular and this amazing tool to measure our bisector. What is bisector? Do you know what is a bisector? A bisector is simply a line that is able or that divides any of a diagram into different parts. As its name implies, bisector, bi stands for two and sector means the parts. So simply in geometrical concepts, bi is representing your two and sectors representing your parts. So this is a line. A bisector is simply a line that divides any particular diagram, any other line of geometry or any other angle into different parts. For example, if I am having this straight line, so you people know that whenever we are having a straight line, it is representing an angle of 180 degrees. Am I right? Yes, I am right. Whenever we are having a straight line, this is representing an angle of 180 degrees. Now, with the help of this set square, I can easily bisector this diagram. This is the base side. You have to keep them straight with this particular line of 180 degrees, just like that, and right after you will draw a line over here. So with the help of this set square, you can see without measuring anything, without mentioning any centimeter or angles, I have drawn a line simply over here, and this is representing an angle of 90 degrees. This is a right angle, and obviously the half of the 180 degree is 90 degrees. So this particular line is known as the angle bisector, because this geometrical line is dividing an angle of 180 degrees in two equal parts, that is 90 degree and is 90 degree. So whenever you add both two angles 90 degrees plus 90 degrees, it will again become your 180 degrees. So for question number 4, we have to use this set square. We are not going to measure any particular thing, but for your knowledge, you must know that what is a set square and how do we use this particular tool. The statement on the same page number 377. In the diagram, P lies on OA and Q lies on OB, such that OP is equals to OQ. So here we are having the two different sides. Yes, these are the two different sides. First of all, P lies on OA. This is your O, this is your A, this is point P, and right over here we are having the point Q lies on OB. This is OB, and the point opposite to P is Q, such that OP is equals to OQ. OP is equals to OQ. These sides must be equal. The two given sides are equal right now with the help of this statement. Now we have to place a set square with one side along PQ and another side passing through O, as shown in the diagram. PQ side, now I am joining my P and Q to make a particular side, and we have to place this particular tool right over here simply. And yes, as you can see that by placing this set square, I am having a line over here, and this is simply representing our angle bisector. What about this line? As shown in the diagram, explain why OC is the angle bisector of angle AOB. There is an angle AOB. Angle AOB. And this line that we have drawn by placing the set square, why is this the angle bisector for this particular angle? So the reason is this, obviously these are the congruent triangles. Okay, as you can see that these two sides are equal, these two sides are equal by the set square, this line OC is also equal, so the three elements are equal themselves. So whenever the three particular angles are equal themselves, so the triangle, the two different triangles, that is triangle PO and the different second other one triangle we are having on the board, this is point C. The right bisector, sorry, the angle bisector is lying on the point C for the side PQ. So this is your side C. So in this way your triangle POC and your triangle QOC are congruent, because three of the elements are congruent right now with the help of question. Now we are starting solution. So how we will solve this particular question? Triangles we have to firstly consider triangle OPC. OPC, the first one triangle, this is OPC, and this is similar to, and right now we are considering the triangle Q and C. O and C, these are the common points. O is corresponding to itself, C is corresponding to itself, P is corresponding to Q. So similarly OPC is and triangle OQC we are taking, and these are the two corresponding points. So I am not mentioning the corresponding points, I am directly mentioning my congruent sides. So first of all, the side OC is congruent to, is equal to side OC, as this is the given statement. This is also given, and this is also a common side for the two particular triangles. For these two particular triangles, you can see this particular line is similar, is common for this one triangle and also for this second one triangle. So this is a common side, and after that the second side that is also equal, that is side OP and OQ. This is also equal, and this is a given statement from the question. And after that one angle is also equal, that is angle OCP. OCP is equals to angle OCQ. The corresponding side of P is Q, C is corresponding to C, O is corresponding to O. I am mentioning my this symbol for angle for my C. So this is representing your angle C, and angle C for both the triangles are also congruent. So why are they congruent? Because they all are representing the 90 degrees angle. So these are the RT angles. RT angles means these are right angles. So these are, because of their these are right angles, so these are also equal. So here the two different sides again, and one angle is congruent. So the two triangles are congruent now. Which one two different triangles are congruent? Triangle OPC. Therefore triangle OPC is congruent with the help of three different lines to triangle OQC. Yes, if the two triangles are congruent, so there's all the sides and all the angles are also congruent, and there is also a statement, a little statement within your content solution, page number 130. This is hence OC is the angle bisector of angle AOB. So in this way your line, your this particular side, the OC side, the common side is the angle bisector for angle AOC, because AOB, because this particular line is dividing your triangles, your this particular the bigger one triangle in the two equal parts, and this is also dividing the angle AOB in two equal parts. So this is your angle bisector. The line that divides the angle also divides the triangle, because what is triangle? Triangle is the combination of the angles. So if we are cutting the angle with the help of one particular line, so it means that it is also dividing our triangle in two different parts. So right after that we are having the interesting question that I was talking about. This is question number 6 from your page number 378, the last and the next page of our Exercise 11C and the statement is this: a candle is placed 15 centimeter from a lens and a screen is placed at a distance of x centimeter from the lens as shown in the diagram. So here we are also having a diagram. So again we will work for the diagram. So in the diagram there are the three different things, the three different objects. First one is the lens. Second one is your screen on the right side. This is a lens. This is a screen. And there is a candle. So what about the next? The image of the candle DE captured on the screen is inverted and 3 times the length of the candle. Find the value of x. So here we are also having the different sides, the different lines that are connecting these three objects to each other. This one line and also this one particular line. And here we are having and as we can see that as I am drawing this diagram to the board, and this is also given in your book for the two different triangles looking like to each other, but they are not equal. They have the size difference. This one triangle is bigger and this one triangle is smaller. So this is our screen, SCREEN. This is our lens. This is our candle. A simple tricky question. Yes, 15 centimeter from a lens. The distance between this particular lens and candle is 15 centimeter. And right after that the screen is placed at a distance of x centimeter from the lens, and the distance between the lens and the screen is x centimeter. So after that the image of the candle DE captured on the screen is inverted and 3 times the length of the candle. So here also some different parts. This is A, this is B, this one is B part point, and this one is C point, and this is D, and this point is E. Okay, so this is DE, the image of this particular candle. We are viewing this particular object with the help of this lens. So after viewing this object with the help of this lens, the image that is created is inverted opposite to itself. For example, this is a pencil. So the inverted image of pencil is this, opposite to itself. So an inverted image is formed over here, and the quality of this particular inverted image is this, that this one is the 3 times more than the first one, candle. So what we have to do, we have to simply find out the value of the x. This x centimeter, the distance between the lens and the screen. Now here we are applying a simple trick. Yes, look at the board. These two triangles are similar to each other, because we can judge this diagram by ourselves that these two different triangles are looking like to each other, but they are not equal in their measurements of their sides. दिखने में ही ये छोटे बड़े मुख्तलिफ लग रहे हैं. So these are the similar triangles, and for this reason the 3 correspondent sides 1, 2, 3 of this triangle must be correspondent in the ratios, must be congruent in the ratios to the 3 different sides of this bigger triangle. So the correspondent sides that we are having for triangles, so firstly the triangle CAB we are having, and here we are having the triangle EDB. So B is similar and C is correspondent to E and A is correspondent to D. So right after that their congruence or their correspondence, these we have to find out what are the basically these diagram representing. Without solving it, without applying any rule, we are going to find out the value of the image, value of the x centimeter, the distance between the lens and the screen. Side AB, that is given as 15 centimeter, is corresponding to side, yes, this one is AB and this one is corresponding to your side DB. This is x. As this one particular side, the length of the candle is 3 times to its image. So this particular side, that is an inverted image of candle, this is 3 times of this side. This side, the measurement of this side is not given, so we are considering this particular side as A. If the measurement of side AC means the length of the measurement of the candle is A centimeter, so the length or the measurement for its inverted image must be 3 multiplied by A. This is 3A, because we are given, as this is given in the book, the image is having the length of 3 times more than the actual candle. So this is A and this is 3A. So as you can see that one of the side is multiplying by 3 in the similar triangles. As we have discussed in the previous question, question number 3, if any of the one side is getting multiplied by any particular number to make the other corresponding side for the next triangle, so all the sides of this first one triangle must be multiplied by the same number to find out the corresponding sides of the second similar triangle. So A is multiplied by 3, so it becomes 3A for its corresponding side. And here we are having the distance AB as 15 centimeter. So we are also multiplying this 15 centimeter by 3. So to find out its corresponding side, that is side DB, x centimeter. So whenever you multiply 15 by 3, it equals to 45. So it simply means that the x must be 45 centimeter. Now we are starting our work, our calculations for proving that the logic or the trick we are applying to these two similar triangles is correct. So question number 6, solution. First of all, we will mention the ratios. Side AB is given and side, its corresponding side is side DE. Side AC is corresponding to your side DE. D and E, then AB must be corresponding to D. Fractional form, equality, side AC is our A, DE, the inverted image of the candle is 3A, is equals to side AB is the given side, this is 15, and the DB side is X side. The BD side, the distance between the lens and the scale. So this is your candle, this is the inverted image of the candle, the 3A, the 3 times more of the candle size, and this is the side size, this is the distance between your candle and the lens, and this is the distance between the lens and the screen that we have to find out. Now whenever we are having the two different equations for an equation or for an equality, so we just have to multiply them in cross section. So here we are writing a statement that is BCM. BCM stands for by cross multiplication. A is multiplying by X. So first of all, there is a cancellation, so we must cancel these similar variables. A is getting cancelled by A. So here we are having the coefficient of 1. So now this is the fraction of 1 over 3 and this is the fraction of 15 over X. So basically here 1 is multiplying by X on the left hand side of the equation, and for the right hand side 15 will be multiplied by 3. So 1 into X, this is X, and 15 into 3, that is 45 centimeters. So yes, as you can see on the board, the answer is same as I have told you by applying the similarity trick. Whenever the number you are having for one side to be multiplied, you will multiply the same number for all the three remaining sides, and your corresponding triangle, the corresponding sides of the next similar triangle will also be equal. So right after that we are having our next question of today's lecture. This is your challenging question for chapter number 11. This is your question number 1 from page number 378. So kindly open page number 378. So page number 378. Page number 384. Basically you have to open on page number 378. We are having the last question for exercise 11C, and 384 we are having the challenge yourself segment for our book. This is your challenge yourself part, and we are discussing this first one question. In the very first question, the figure shows a trapezium QRST, where QR is equals to A units and ST is equals to B units. The height of the trapezium is H units. By using the similar triangles, we have to simply show that the area of trapezium is given by 1/2 multiplied by A plus B into H. So this is our question. Now I am explaining this particular question on the board. This is also a good question. In this particular question, we are having a term that is trapezium. So do you really know what is a trapezium? A trapezium is simply a type of quadrilateral, means a geometrical figure with the 4 different sides, and the base side of the trapezium is always greater from the above side or the corresponding side. This is basically the particular shape of trapezium. These two opposite sides are not equal, and these two opposite sides are also not equal in measurement for a trapezium. If the 4 different sides are equal to each other to their corresponding sides, so it will become a rectangle. So that is why the 4 different angles are not congruent, the sides are also not congruent. So this is a trapezium, means the mesh form of a rectangle. If I create some mesh in this particular diagram, that is a rectangle, a proper shape, and I am also decreasing this side in this way. So now this is a trapezium. So in trapezium there are the 4 different points, and in the book they are given as QT, QRST, order wise QRST, and above this QRST a point P is also given with the help of our dashed line in the red color. Yes. So by drawing this cone for a triangle, and by representing this P, I have shown this particular trapezium in the 2 different triangles. The first one triangle that we are having is the TPS, and the second one triangle is QP and R. So these are also the 2 different triangles. One of the angle is similar, congruent, and now we will apply the similarity concept to prove that the area of this particular trapezium QRST can be shown or is shown by 1/2 multiplied by A plus B into H. So this must be the final answer for this question number 1, the challenging question within the page number 384. So first of all, what we will do, we have to find out we will consider the height of the 2 different triangles. So for your convenience, I am drawing this diagram in the 3 different parts, the 2 triangles and 1 trapezium. First one is PQR, next one is PTS, and the third one diagram is your trapezium QRS and T. These 2 triangles are similar to each other. We will apply the similarity test for these 2 particular triangles. As we apply the similarity test, they will be congruent to each other, and for finding out the area of this particular trapezium, we will subtract the area of this smaller triangle from the area of this larger triangle, because as we can see in the book, this triangle is covering some part of the larger triangle, and the remaining part after this smaller triangle is, we are saying this as a trapezium. So for the area of this particular triangle, PTS, firstly we will subtract the area of PQR, and in this form the remaining area or the remaining value will be our answer for this area of trapezium. And remember that we have to show this in the form of 1/2 multiplied by A plus B into H. So we are starting work for this. One more thing that is also given, one more element is the height. Height of the trapezium is given as H units. From Q to T, the distance is represented as H. So if this H, for this one bigger one triangle, if this height is H, so this height is H dash. And the total height for this triangle PTS is H plus H dash. Okay, and for the first one triangle, the smaller triangle, the height is H dash, and for the bigger one triangle is the sum of these two different heights. So first of all, I have to consider the triangle PQR by H inverse or H dash, as you may say this. And in the content solution page number 131, we are having this question, and in this question these two different diagrams are not drawn and the space is left blank. Why is this space blank? You have to draw these two diagrams yourself. So you will draw the triangle for triangle PQR and then triangle PST. So firstly we are considering the heights. This is a challenging part. This is question number 1, solution. Now we are firstly considering triangle PQR is the height consider height of triangle PQR is H dash and the height of triangle PTS or PST is your H as given in the question. The height of the trapezium from Q, this point, this is given as H. So for this one bigger one triangle, the height must be H plus H inverse. Now we are considering that both triangles. For applying the similarities, consider triangle PQR, and triangle PQR is similar to triangle P and its corresponding points. So P is corresponding to P itself and Q is corresponding to S and R is corresponding to T. So this is triangle PST. For these two particular triangles, for triangle PQR, H is given. So now we are mentioning the heights of the different triangles. This is H1, H dash divided by H plus H dash, and now we are having A over B. Why we are having A over B? So for this particular diagram within the question, the side QR is given as A, this side is represented as A, and the next one side, that is your side SC, is represented as B units. So this is A, this is B. We are representing their measurements with the help of these two different variables. So QR I have mentioned as B, A, and for side SC, that is the corresponding side for QR. Q is corresponding to S, R is corresponding to T, and QR is fractional form with the S, T, and A over B is representing the two different correspondent sides for the two different similar triangles, and these are also the corresponding heights for H dash and divided by H plus H dash. And after that we have to simply simplify them for finding out the first equation. Then we will work for the area of the trapezium. And I am erasing all these diagrams because I need some space on the board to complete this question. This is a lengthy question by solution. Whenever you solve this question, this is a lengthy question, but this is not a difficult one. This is simply a tricky question. So by cross multiplication, H dash must be multiplied by B and A must be multiplied by A, H plus H dash. So this is BH dash, order wise B first, H next, and then A into H AH plus A into H A dash. So AH is equals to AH dash minus BH dash. This is the inverted form of the equation, and we are mentioning this as equation number 1. This is our first equation, and by representing this first equation we have to simply start the work for the area of trapezium. So the area of trapezium is equals to, yes, as we have discussed earlier, what is this, the formula of the trapezium, area of the trapezium, right over here, area must be minus area of triangle. The bigger one triangle is triangle PST. From triangle PST we have to subtract the area of triangle PQR. From the bigger one triangle I am subtracting my smaller one triangle with respect to their areas for finding out the area of the trapezium. Now what about the area of the triangle? How do we find out the area of triangle? We have a particular formula for this, and the particular formula is this. Whenever we are having a rectangle, basically I am telling you about the formula derivation of triangle. Yes, this is your a particular rectangle. So whenever we are having a rectangle, we find out the area of the rectangle by multiplying its breadth and its height. Its breadth and its height. This is H, this is B. Whenever you multiply these two terms, so it will be equal to the area of a rectangle. Now what is a triangle? A triangle is basically the half of a triangle. A rectangle, whenever we draw a diagonal from right to left or from left to right, so it divides our particular diagram, that is rectangle, into two different triangles. As you can see, these are the two different triangles, because this diagonal line has divided the rectangle. So just because of this, we also apply the 1/2 fraction with the formula of the area of the rectangle, and by this form it becomes area of the triangle is equals to 1/2 multiply by B and multiply by H. So here the B is your base side and H is your height. So for the first triangle PST, we are having 1/2 multiply by B. Yes, your B for the particular diagram is B, and your height is H plus H inverse. And you are going to divide, subtract this with the help of 1/2 multiply by B is A over here, and H is simply H. BH plus BH dash minus 1/2 AH. Now after that we will take common as 1/2 for these two particular terms. One element is common, that is your fraction 1/2, the coefficient of these variables. So we have taken this element as common. The remaining elements are BH plus BH dash and minus this is H dash. So this is again AH. Now we are applying equation number 1. So by substituting the equation number 1, we are having according to equation number 1, the value of AH is AH in complement minus BH complement. So here we are also having the AH minus BH. So BH minus AH is equals to, converts itself in AH, and 1/2 remains AH plus BH. So A is also taken, H is also taken as common for this particular bracket. So this is the final form of our question, or the final form of the area of trapezium, the fractional form that which we have to apply. We have to convert our question by calculating the area of the two different triangles. So this is your question number 1 from Challenging Yourself, chapter number 11. Now we are discussing the last question of today's lecture. This is your question number 1. Again, page number is 72, and this is your chapter number 3, the previous chapter that we have covered in the previous weeks. And chapter number 3, do you remember the name of the chapter number 3? Yes, this is linear inequalities within one variable. where we have discussed how do we represent the different inequalities and how do we work, or we find out the values of the different variables with the help of different inequalities. So question number 1 from page number 72, challenge yourself, the challenge yourself part for your chapter number 3, that is your chapter name linear inequalities within one variable. We have discussed this chapter completely for the different exercises 3A, 3B, 3C, and in these different parts we have discussed how do we work with the different inequalities to find out the values of the different variables, and also we have discussed the number line. And for the last exercise we discussed the limits of accuracy, what are the limits of accuracy. Now today we are having a simple question, this is a revisionary part for you guys, and for this question we are having the statement, it is given that 6 is less than x and less than and equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 8, and 0.2 is less than and equal to y and less than and equal to 0.5. So this is the first statement. In this particular statement we are having the ranges for variable x and y with the least and the maximum values, the largest values. In the next segment of the question, if z is equals to x over y, a particular variable, this is z, if this is representing its value by the division of x and y, then we have to find out the different limits in which z must lie. So now we have to find out the range of the variable z with the help of the different ranges of x and y variable as given in the book. This is question number 1 for chapter number 3. Chapter number 3 and book page number is 72. Solution, mathematical standard, right after that x, the limit of x, and then y, the limit of y. X is starting from 6 and ending to 8. So what is the limit of the x? Basically 6, 7 and 8, the three numbers. Then this is 0.2 and this is 0.5. Half. We have to find out the range of the z. For the range of the z, there must also be a least value and there must also be a greater value, the greatest value. So this is the least value, this is the maximum value, the minimum limit, the maximum limit. So for the minimum limit, we have to use the equation that is given in question, least z. Least z, how do we find out the least z? So least z is equals to, here I am again mentioning my words, least number. In last video class, I think video session number 5, I have told you how do we work for the maximum number with respect to the division. Whenever we are having the division and we have to work for the maximum number or the largest number, so how do we work? For example, I am again repeating my same words with the same example. I am having a number 12 and I have to represent this particular number as the greatest number by performing some particular division. So I should divide this number by 1, because by dividing 1 it will be same, the 12, it will not decrease itself. Rather, if I am dividing this by 2, so it will become 6. As I am increasing my denominator, my numerator is also decreasing, the answer of my fraction is also decreasing. So this simply proves that if we are having a number and we have to apply the division for this number and we have to keep this number to its maximum value, so we should divide and we must divide the particular number by the least number, by the least denominator, the possible least denominator. Similarly, if I am having a number that is a number, for example 6, and I have to convert this number into the smallest number, now I have to divide this particular number with a number, right after by dividing these two numbers, the answer that I am getting as my quotient, so this must be a least number. So for greatest number, we apply the division by the least number, so it will remain same. And now if I am having the least number property or least number condition. So for least, I will divide my this number with this same number and it will become 1. So this is your least, this is your greatest. The maximum value, the minimum value. For the maximum number, we will divide with the smallest denominator, and for the least number, the minimum number, we will divide the number with the maximum number. So here I am applying my fraction x over y, and for least z, I should divide the greatest z by the smallest y. Am I right? So x for its maximum value is 8 and y for its minimum value is 0.2, and the answer is this answer. For the greatest z, again I am dividing my x with my y, so this must be equal to so this is 14 and whenever I am dividing my least number with my greatest number, so the answer should be 14. So this is the least and this is the greatest z. So for greatest number, I have divided my maximum number with the minimum number of y, and for least z, the minimum z, the lowest value of z, I have divided my lowest value of x with my maximum value of y. So this is your maximum of 8x, this is your minimum of your x, and this is the minimum of y, and this is the maximum of y. So for these 4 values, I have basically divided in this form. This is divided by this number and this is divided by this number. Greater number we are dividing, so it will make the greater number, and if I am dividing my least number, so it will give me a least z. So the range for the z that I have mentioned over here, we have to mention our answer at the bottom, at the end part of our question. This is your 12, the least, and greatest is your 40. So the range of z is 12 to 40. The number may start from 12 and it will end on the 40. The number should not be lesser than 12 and not must be greater than the 40. So this is the end of our content over here. This is the last part for your challenge yourself, chapter number 3. This is your homework diary. Do copy work. From content solution, page number 130 and 131. So this is the end of our today's lecture, and I hope you have got all the questions clearly and all the concepts that are related to similarity and congruence. Basically today we didn't started any new topic. We have repeated, we have revised the topics that we have discussed in the last 2 exercises, that is congruence and similarity test, and we have learned how do we apply these 2 different concepts for the word problems, and right after that we have discussed the 2 different challenging questions for your practice purpose. Now after completing this explanation or understanding all this exercise and the 2 remaining parts, the 2 challenging questions from your book, you have to complete your work, your copy work, especially for week number 6, but right after the completion of week number 5. One by one you will complete your week. Firstly you will complete your week number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and you will take the help with this content solution, and your work must be completed for the 6 weeks in your copies, and your index must be maintained, your copy must be maintained 100% as you maintain within your class. And for this reason, and why I am saying to maintain your copies, because for the very first week of September you have to submit your copy for the checking purpose. So you must complete your work for your till before the September starts. And now we are ending our class. So inshallah we will meet again in the next video class with some interesting questions and topics. Till then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.